everybody, I'm the ShimarioBrother, and it's been quite some time since I last made an episode on this stupid show, and I deeply apologize. I explained this in a video recently, but basically I started several projects over that time. They were too ambitious, and I had to either delay them or cancel them. I've also been playing some good-ass video games in the time I've been gone, so I felt like I should make my return by talking about one of those games. Oh goddamn! Spongebob Squarepants, easily one of the most iconic cartoons of all time. He's the face of Nickelodeon. He's been going strong for 20 years. SpongeBob is a success of a cartoon. He may not have always been the highest of quality. Like, seriously, have you seen the seasons right in the middle of his life? Jesus, these episodes existed. But he was truly something special when he started out, and from what I've heard, he's been getting better recently, so good job, Mr. Squarepants. However, who could forget the best part about SpongeBob? The merchandise. Unsurprisingly, SpongeBob had merch for basically everything. Clothes, cups, magnets, books, plushies, f***ing food. What is surprising though is that while most licensed games based off popular cartoons kind of suck dick, the ones SpongeBob got weren't actually too bad. I mean, some of them were, you know, games, but others were pretty solid, like Battle for Bikinibot and Creature from the Krusty Krab. Yeah, I said it. F*** you, Metacritic. Now, which of these categories would I put Spongebob Squarepants Supersponge in? Neither. Now, this right here is quite the who the f***ing SpongeBob gameland. This might be one of the few that ever got into greatest hits territory. What?
Excuse me, sir. What made you turn this game into a greatest hit?
I was drunk. Like, seriously, I could have spent my money on Untitled Goose Game, Ori Will of the Wisp, Minecraft Realms. No, I got this. I mean, most of the reviews for the game didn't make it seem too bad. It was pretty mixed overall. Although this one guy at GameSpot gave it a 10 out of 10, Jesus. But just look at it. Look at it. Does it seem like it's as good as Crash 3? Yeah, that's what I f***ing thought. This game actually has two different versions. The PlayStation version releasing in 2001 on November 5th, and the Game Boy Advance version releasing 3 days later on November 8th. Both versions were developed by Climax, the same guys who made such classics as Overlord Minions and The Italian Job, and published by You see, I could suffer even more than I already am and play the GBA version, but I've only gotten through 2 things on my bucket list, so I'll stick with the PS1 version. Anyways, let's just start things up. So the game starts with an FMV intro, which is actually pretty solid. It shows all the characters, the music is catchy. This actually is kind of okay so far, and it's gone. Seriously, this may just be one of the worst title screens I've ever seen. I've made sandwiches with more stuff on them than this. The background is a single picture. The press start text is the only moving thing on it. There's a third logo. What the f***? What kind of game has 3 different logos? Also, the title apparently isn't Spongebob Squarepants Supersponge. Rather, it is Spongebob Squarepants, Spongebob Squarepants Supersponge. Okay. Anyways, let's just jump right into the game. I'd probably be better off jumping into a pool of acid instead, but I guess I'm not doing that. Oh, look, I lied! This game is not the prettiest thing out there, that is for sure. I mean, I guess it could look worse, but it just doesn't look good enough for the console it was on. Reminder that these games were all on the same console as this. I mean, it is a licensed game, so it is pretty unfair to compare it to the likes of Klonoa and Mega Man 8, but even by licensed game standard, it looks pretty rough. I mean, the backgrounds look good, and it does look like a SpongeBob game at the very least, but it just kind of looks like a prettier GBA game. Oh, wait a minute! So anyways, the plot here is that SpongeBob wants to get a signature for Merman and Barnacle Boy for Patrick's birthday. But since these 2 guys are assholes who don't appreciate their fans, they make SpongeBob do a bunch of f***ing ridiculous tasks just to get some words. First of which being making them a sandwich. Alright, doesn't seem too bad so far, so let's hop into level 1. And since it's level 1 in a video game, nothing happens. So let's talk about the basic gameplay. Since this is a 2D platformer, or I'm sorry, according to Wikipedia, a 2.5D platformer, what the fuck? SpongeBob is able to move left and right, he can jump in the air, and he can also do a ground pound. He can also get a number of different power-ups he can use to attack, make platforming easier, etc. Some of these include a jellyfish net, a reef blower, a karate glove, a bubble wand, and
for his neutral special, he wields a gun.
Now this sounds like the deal of a lifetime, and for the people who already signed it, I am so sorry. Yeah, these things aren't that consistent when it comes to quality and quantity. I mean, the jellyfish net is the only power-up that's used in the first chapter, and then it's forgotten about and is used like for 2 more stages afterwards. Then there are the ones that are introduced in like chapter 2 or 3 that get used consistently for the rest of the game, like the bubbles and the
gun.
Now, as for the quality of the power-ups, like I said, they're also pretty inconsistent. They range from actually being kind of fun to being functional but not always what I want to Jesus Christ. You may have also noticed the golden spatulas all over the levels, and they're basically like rings from the Sonic game. They're the main collectible, but also function as your health meter. Getting hit will drop all your spatulas, allowing you to collect them back up again. Although similar to a Sonic game, it is pretty easy to abuse its power and its damage boost through all the enemies and spikes like it's nothing. You also die when one hit where you don't have any spatulas left, so be careful. It's a little weird that they went down this route for health rather than the usual 3 hit point system, but hey, props for them for stealing something that isn't stolen as often as other methods are. As for the controls, they could be worse. At first I found them really slippery and annoying, but once I got used to them, they were fine enough. Something that is nice is that with some exceptions, the controls never really get altered when using a power-up. It's, for the most part, always consistent, and that's appreciated. Anyways, I got through level 1, and I'm moving on to level 2. Here I have to go into Sandy's Tree Dome to get...
in a jar of peanut butter.
You know, the best sandwich ingredient. Anyways, I gotta put on this water helmet so I can breathe in the air dome, which I'll admit is a pretty clever spin on the normal breath meter. But you go inside and you don't even wear it. Spongebob, what the fuck are you doing? So other than that, terrifying act of suicide, we gotta jump up these tree branches, make our way back down the tree once we're inside, get flung up by these smaller branches by standing on them. We also need to keep refilling our water meter with these bird baths throughout the level, and we gotta climb up and down the tree in order to get the
Jar of peanut butter.
Although I think it's really dumb that if SpongeBob climbed up the tree, went inside it, and came back out of it on the other side, why didn't he just run around the tree to get the
Jar of peanut
that way? Why? That's the equivalent of making a negative review about Spongebob Squarepants Supersponge. Like, it works, it helps you accomplish your goal of making it clear that the game is bad, but who the fuck would do that when you can just throw the game in the trash instead? Anyways, moving on to the next level. It really isn't too remarkable. We got some grass, some squids, some fish hooks, and done. Moving on to the next one. What? Firstly, that death noise was f***ing hilarious, and I don't know why they kept it in the final game, but I'm not complaining. And secondly, what? Why did I die after collecting the damn collectible? The stage should have ended, right? I mean, I guess I had to walk to the end of the screen to finish the level, but that's still kind of dumb. Alright, I got it this time. Just gotta walk right a bit more. Okay, if I have to walk that little just to get to the end of the level after collecting the thing I needed, why not just end the level when I get the thing I needed? Anyways, after whatever the f that was, we move on to stage 4, downtown Bikinibot. What the f is this? Yeah, this level does a great job at highlighting one of the game's bigger problems: the terrible sound design. I mean, the music and voice acting sound fine. The music is pretty fitting with SpongeBob and is pretty catchy. And the voice acting is also pretty good, although Mr. Krabs and Mermaid Man's voices are off for some reason. There's probably a reason behind that, but I don't know what it is, and I don't feel like looking it up because I am lazy. Hey guys, Shimario here. A quick update. Mermaid Man was actually done by the same voice actor in the show. Yeah, that was completely my bad. I didn't really do that much research until the editing phase. So, yeah, Mr. Krabs is the only voice that is different in this game.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
SpongeBob! Now listen, boy! I'm counting on you to use this here
See, the thing with the voice acting, though, is that the only time there's voice acting that isn't boss sound effects is when the game is completely quiet otherwise. With the exception of the bits of dialogue at the end of each level, but even then, the only thing that plays during those is the voice acting and the music. And even then, the music is turned down a bit. And why is that? Simple. Yeah, this game's sound design is kind of a train wreck. The sound effects are all loud, annoying, and they all end up playing at one time with how much there is to do, so they become even more annoying. That's another problem with this level and a few other levels in the game: the visual balance. The amount of enemies, platforms, background sprites, foreground sprites is just f***ing gross. With how cluttered everything is, it can get really hard to tell where enemies are, where bottomless pits are, where the brains and the people who made this game a greatest hits are. Oh wait, never mind, I found them. Anyways, after all the bad sound design, cluttered visuals, and platforms you can fall through, we made it to the end of the level, and we're able to fight the first boss. Here we got Mother Jellyfish, and we have to defeat it by throwing jellyfish at it. I mean, that's the equivalent of trying to stop tsunami by throwing ice cubes at it, but who cares? It works, so shut up. Alright, just gotta dodge these attacks, and oh f***, I died. Well, that sucks. I have to play SpongeBob Squarepants Supersponge for a longer time, and I have to restart the fight from scratch. Oh. I guess not. Okay, for some reason, the damage you dealt stays the same when you die, as long as you don't run out of lives. Maybe I'm just a retard, but that seems really fucking weird. Also, because of that, I managed to deal the final blow to the thing while dying at the same time. So when I respawned, the boss was just not there. So that was something that happened. Anyways, after slaughtering that fucking thing, I finished the sandwich, and it isn't enough for a signature for Patrick. So now we have to go to the fucking center of the earth to get them some
kelp cream and a facial.
What am I playing? Anyways, on to chapter 2. Let's go into level 1. Oh my god, what is this? It's the first level where you get access to the reef blower, or as I like to call it, gonorrhea. This is easily the worst power-up in the game. It's the only one that drastically affects your movement. All the others give you an attack or an ability, and that's it. But with this thing, you become way more slippery and way heavier. How do you even do that? Also, similar to the previous level, this level points out another flaw in the game. The inconsistency in level length. The consistency in level length is like the good qualities in Mario Party 10 in the sense that it doesn't exist. Some of the levels are long, some of them are short, some feel like they're fully developed, while others feel like they end way too soon. I mean, most of the longer levels are the ones with more interesting ideas, so it's good that they mostly got that right. But there are other levels that have really cool concepts, themes, settings, etc., but end super quickly. But why does that problem apply to this level? Well, the levels before this have overall had a pretty consistent length. They were all in around the area in between short and medium on the length meter, but this stage just fucking obliterates that meter. This level is literally twice as long as all of the previous levels and most other levels in this game. I have no idea why this level is so fucking long. I mean, it could be because of the reef blower, but this thing gets used several times after this, so why didn't they put some of the sections using it in those other levels to make this one more consistent in length? This level is long, tedious, looks really bland and boring. It's one of the game's biggest issues. It's just garbage. Anyways, on to the next 2 levels, which, oh my god, are actually kind of fun. They introduced 2 of my favorite power-ups in the whole game. The balloon, oh yeah, I forgot, there's a balloon power-up too, and the bubble wand. The balloon basically gives you anti-gravity. It has a really short time limit, but it's still pretty fun to use. And the bubble wand is probably my favorite power-up in the whole game. It allows you to create platforms for you to jump on, and honestly, it was really fun to use. There were times where I just used the bubble wand to clear entire platforming challenges, and that was a blast. Plus, the hidden collectibles you can get with this thing are also pretty great. The levels themselves are also pretty fun, even though I did get lost in level 2, which was pretty annoying, although that is partially because I was dumb and didn't notice this one platform here because I'm a stupid dumb idiot. Anyways, we move on to the last level of chapter 2. Nothing really too notable here. It's a pretty short level with a pretty easy boss at the end. Welp, I got the
kelp cream and a facial.
And it still isn't enough for a signature, so now I gotta get them some new uniforms, alright? And to do that, I have to
pop back to prehistoric Bikinibot to see what you can find.
Excuse me? Okay, so we have to go back in time just for some writing. Okay, cool, that's fine. After an actually cool reference to an old Spongebob episode, we hop into chapter 3, starting with level 1. Oh, hey, look, the level's over. On to level 2, where we get introduced to the karate glove, which is a decent power-up. It gives you a much more direct way of attack, and it doesn't change anything else about your moves, so it's fine. The rest of the level is kind of annoying, though. It has a lot of insta-kill pits, insta-kill poison, tornadoes that are almost always impossible to dodge, and whatever the hell happened there. Next level, and while there is more poison sludge that kills you instantly here, honestly, it's a decent level. It's a bit longer than most other levels, but unlike other levels, it isn't tedious and annoying, but it's actually fun. Honestly, one of the better levels in the game. Now we move on to the boss level for this chapter, and for a boss level, it's longer than usual and has a pretty cool theme, but that's really it. There really isn't that much to talk about when it comes to the level, or the boss for that matter, other than the fact that it's fucking terrifying. Like, seriously, Mimi from Super Paper Mario, Goma from Twilight Princess, any of the Kirby final bosses, this thing. They're basically all the same level of holy fuck! Anyways, I got the stuff for them, and of course it isn't enough, so now I need to get a candy bar for Barnacle Boy. I mean, it's a bit of a step down from going back in time to get some clothes, but it's fine. Alright, chapter 4, level 1. Oh, I guess we're going to rock bottom then, but really, name a SpongeBob game that doesn't have rock bottom in it. Shut up. Anyways, this level is kind of a cluttered mess, but it's not that big of a deal since the level is actually playable. Take notes. Oh yeah, you can also use these squeaky boots to walk on spikes. It was introduced earlier, but I forgot to mention it because I just didn't feel like it. This power-up sounds super cool, but you can only use it for like 6 seconds, so it's basically worthless. Hey guys, Shimario here. Quick heads up is that the rest of this video is going to have a bit of a different sounding microphone because the other one, while it sounded really good, was very inconsistent. So I just decided to switch to this more consistent one so I can get this video out quicker. Okay, back to the video. Although it is appreciated that it doesn't replace any of the other power-ups, rather it's just giving you alongside it. That is a nice addition and I like it. On to the next stage, which is this pier level. Honestly, not too bad of a level. In fact, it's actually kind of fun. But then we move on to the next level, the graveyard stage. Oh wow, now doesn't that sound like a fun level? I know, right? And there's a chance it would be a fun level if it wasn't so goddamn short. Like seriously, this might just be one of the shortest levels in the entire game, and it's the 3rd level in the 4th world. Not just that, but there are also a lot of annoying enemies and random pits that you can hardly see, some of which being death pits. Yeah, this level ain't that great. On top of all of that, this level also points out yet another problem in the game, and that's the bad conveyance. There are so many times in the game where I'm just walking around and all of a sudden I fall through the floor since I genuinely couldn't tell that that part of the platform was a bottomless pit. There's also many times when you jump down a small gap to see what's down there and oh look, it's an insta-kill pit. Like, come on, you seriously can't put a sign or just have a platform before slope downwards so you can see it or anything, really. There are also times where you just cannot tell what will instantly kill you and what won't. I mean, there are some times where you can look at something and say, hey, that's probably gonna kill me. I shouldn't go in it. But other times, nope, not at all. Like, look at these little gas leaks right here. I mean, yeah, sure, it looks dangerous, but I doubt it's gonna kill me. Oh, wait a minute, I f***ing died. Great. Anyways, on to the boss level, which is actually pretty lengthy despite being a boss level in Spongebob Squarepants Supersponge. I know, it's f***ing wild. As for the boss itself, it's alright. Anyways, we go back to Mermaid Mofo and Barnacle Bitch, and now we need to fix their TV. Alright then, maybe we should call a mechanic or something. What are you f***ing stupid? Of course we don't do that. Instead, we just do it ourselves, and to do that, we have to go to the most deserted areas of Bikini Bottom, where only the man rays roam. Alright then. But for real, these next few levels are actually kind of cool. They all take place in this sort of polluted like Bikini Bottom, and honestly, it's a really cool concept. But okay, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Alright, level 1 of chapter 5, which is, you know, a level. There's these oil fountains, these clams, these fucking man rays. Like, are we just gonna ignore these guys? What the fuck? Plus, you can literally just take them out in one hit with this fucking jelly gun. What the fuck have these two idiots been doing their entire lives?
Right!
Left. Anyways, next level, and I'll be honest, it's actually one of the better ones in the game. There's some actual fun platforming in this level, and the length is pretty good too. Plus, it does a much better job at feeling like an industrial Bikini Bottom area, so yeah, good level. Well, that last level was pretty decent. Time for the next level. I don't like it. Damn it, we were on such a good streak too. Yeah, this level is kind of bad. There's a lot of insta-kill fire, confusing pathways, bottomless pits that don't even look like bottomless pits. Good god. I mean, it's not the worst level ever, but it certainly isn't winning any best level in Spongebob Squarepants Supersponge awards. Anyways, on to the last level, and it's okay. It takes place at a snail food factory. Kind of a weird for the theme, but I guess it's still machine-like, so it's not that big of a deal. There's these annoying flipping platforms, and the level introduces gimmicks like slopes and conveyor belts, and they never get used again. But hey, the level is fine enough, and done. On to the boss. Jesus Christ! Here I was thinking the 3rd boss was scary, but nope! Anyways, this boss is actually kind of interesting. You need to stand on these switches to make the steam come out of the ground to stun him, and then you need to ground pound him. Alright, kind of a decent boss we got here, even a bit challenging. Oh hey, look, I beat it. Now time for the next task I need to do.
Ah! Well, celebration time is over. Now back to Bikini Bottom to add the finishing touches to my birthday surprise.
Wait, what? What do you mean finishing touches? I still need to do more, right?
Congratulations, Spongy Blob. You earned this. Patrick is lucky to have a friend like you.
Gee, thanks!
What? You're telling me the game is over? That was the final level. The final boss. That was the end. Huh? Okay, that was probably one of the most underwhelming finales I have ever seen in my life. That did not feel like a final level at all. That just felt like the final level. It felt like a normal stage that they just kind of said was the last one. Also, how the hell was that thing the final boss when the same chapter had fucking Man Ray as a normal enemy? Why couldn't he be the final boss? I'm so confused! Okay, who cares? Boom, the game's over. Bam, somehow Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy show up to Patrick's birthday party despite not wanting to even sign their damn names for him throughout most of the game. But whatever, the game's over. Also, remember earlier how I said this game looks kinda gross? Well, after finishing the game, I think I finally know why. It's not the backgrounds or the foregrounds or anything like that. It's the fucking character sprites. Now, some of you may be thinking, yeah, no shit. Like, dude, you control this thing throughout the entire game. I think you can say that the sprites are bad. But here's the thing that I found weird. Remember how earlier I found it weird that this game was a 2.5D platformer? Well, now I know why. It isn't because of how the game actually looks. It's because of the sprites. Some of these characters look 3D, like SpongeBob, Gary, this fucking thing. But most of these characters are literally just 2D images. Because of this, it becomes really fucking weird when you see yucky 3D SpongeBob standing next to JPEG Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. The last shot in particular really seals the deal. Like, fucking look at this. All of Patrick's 2D JPEG buddies show up to his birthday party, and then there's these guys. Okay, so this game. This fucking game. I may have made it seem like this is the worst thing humanity has ever created, but that was mostly for comedic effects since there are actually things in this game that work. The controls are fine enough, some of the power-ups are fun to use, and there is the occasional fun level here. But do these things make the game good? Yeah, this game has a lot of problems. Some of the gameplay mechanics are super annoying, the sound design is garbage, the game occasionally feels cluttered in its visual department, the game itself just looks kind of gross, tons of bad levels, and several reoccurring design philosophies that are just not good. This game is kind of terrible. It isn't the worst game ever made, and it wasn't super disappointing or anything. It is a licensed game after all, and going in, I already basically knew that the game was gonna kind of be trash. And I'll be honest, this game is really fun to talk about. There's so much stupid shit to talk about in this game. The bad level design, ear-grating sound design, this fucking crouching animation. Like, I'm just clicking down on the D-pad over and over again, and SpongeBob's doing this. I didn't even mention this in the review. It's probably one of the most memorable things in the game. What the fuck is this? It does kind of suck that I'm new to this whole reviewing thing, because I feel like if I had more experience, I could easily talk about this game and why it sucks in way better detail. But, hey, on the bright side, I'm getting more work done on my bucket list. Just got through the third thing on the list, and now I just have to, play Bug Fables, you dummy. I can die now.